Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are. So, the weather in our neck of the woods in the old UK, well, there's lots of not so nice white and grey fluffy clouds. There appears to be some more blue sky today. These clouds, they don't half cover the sky, my delicious little baby. See, I'm stumbling there. And I've noticed in other countries it's happening a lot, my delicious little babies. Okay, there must be something up there, my delicious little babies. Okay, now then, the time is what's the time, Mr. Wolf? 25 to 1 in the afternoon in our old England, my delicious little babies. Okay. And yeah, it's a tiny bit windy. It is colder. The sun has now cracked out. So yeah, we'll just see how today goes. And I'll probably go and weed my back garden, the old slabs. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, so I have one piece of info for you today, my little lovelies, okay? And yeah, it's very interesting, this video. And sorry, my delicious little babies, I hope that life is treating you most deliciously wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls. Now then, yeah, this video is just over 19 minutes long, my delicious little babies, okay? This uploader happens to have 19.3 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. And I think I've mentioned them once before, actually. So in the old search engine, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, Dreamium, so it's a capital D, Dreamium, RUM, Dreamium, okay? It's like dream, dream. You know that song, my delicious little babies. What year was that song, my delicious little babies? Now then, and that's the uploader. And the video should read The Great Deception of Modern Society. So I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? The great, deception of modern society. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, okay, so now we're going to close my book. Okay, my delicious little babies, we need to remember to go back to where we need to get back to. So let's just pop our book over there and let's have a discussion. So, yeah, so what this is talking about, there we are. I've been done saying this for years. We see how things have been created. One of the most famous, I will say, I was saying it actually this morning when I was listening to the video. One of the most, well, I'd not long listened to it actually, was to do with, keeping up with the Joneses. So that's the most famous one, okay, in the book, My Delicious Little Babies. And what do I mean by this? Well, it's like one's strive, who gets the best house, who gets the best, there we are, the best house, the best car, who goes on X amount of holidays, who can dress to the best, dress to the 99s, as they'd say, my delicious little babies. And sometimes, I've known it in my decades, so there we are, I already know, okay? And especially in my earlier years, well, anyway, I'm not old now, my delicious little babies, but, where one will say, oh, how much is your house, down the pub? Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? And they say, oh, yes, and this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? And then the other one, you could just see the jealousy, there we are, the jealousy in somebody's birth race. Do you see what I mean? So say, for example, they could live on the same road, but maybe they cannot get, as many things done to their house or something. Do you know what I mean? So it sort of instills, that doesn't mean just got an itch in my eye. So it instills there we are, like a jealousy. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, the same thing now happens with some channels, my delicious little babies. Now, I want to discuss this as well. Now, as you all very well know with me by now, my delicious little babies, I do, there we are, tend to look at things, my delicious little babies, and sometimes you can get uploaders. I have my favourites, I've always said that. And, you could look at some comments, okay? And these comments, can be all wonderful and delicious, hunky-dory, tickety-boo, okay? One's just appreciate, there we are, before I even say it, one's just appreciate, the content and the videos that ones give out, okay? But as I would always say, you're always going to get some others do have them, okay? And it's like there can be, there we are, deliberately spiteful and nasty, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes? So, I just feel to myself, well, why would somebody do that? Do you see what I'm saying? So if somebody's really good at doing videos, well, why would somebody want to put negative, there we are, messages, my delicious little babies, meaning, oh, don't keep repeating the same thing, as an example, my delicious little babies. Well, simple things. If one doesn't want to watch a video, just click off. Simple things. But this goes deeper. There we are. So my room is warm, okay? This is just my spirit, okay? You see, this goes deeper. So that also comes under the word, there we are, jealousy, okay? It's like, oh, look at whoever it is, what kind of life they've got, what they do, whether they travel a lot or whether they, whether they sit at home or whatever the situation may be. But that is, there we are, yet another form of jealousy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, why should you have all of these, subscribers or, viewers, and you know what I mean? Whereas 9 times out of 10, whoever puts these comments, they wouldn't have what I feel the confidence, to start doing their own videos. See, I just got nothing across my shoulders, so that means no. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? So this is what I'm saying. But getting back to this video now that I've just mentioned, my delicious little babies. So, if we look at even down to, that doesn't mean no, even if we look down to mobile dog and burns, iPads, who's got the latest of that, who's got the latest laptop, who's got the latest computer. Do you see? It's like one's a chase, there we are, one's a chasing after these things. Do you see what I mean? Okay. And this seems to be very sadly, there we are, a lot in the world. Do you see? But as I've said, there we are, for years and decades, I've had, from when I was young, I'm not going to bore everybody. I do not need to do that. But, when you're younger and you're very, there we are, ambitious and everything else now then, you know what I mean? It's like, put it this way, it never took me long to find out, my delicious little babies, okay, that everything is not as what it seemed. So you can have all the bottles of perfume, all the shoes, all the handbags, all the clothes, a nice home. There we are. You can have all of these things now, but if you're not happy within, you know, you're just staring at all of these items and you're just saying to yourself, do I really want this? So from a very young age, I decided, let's just say, to rebel against it. Do you see what I mean? Because I knew in my heart of hearts that it wasn't for myself. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, okay. I would get more enjoyment of just, you know, sitting on a park bench. There we are, sitting on a park bench. My delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Just having that beauty of being able to see, to hear, and just to sit, there we are, in peace and quiet. Do you see what I mean? So, you know, for myself, the video that I've just mentioned, I feel is very important. I feel that it was put across very well. There we are, I really do. And, you know, for some, I believe that by listening to that video, okay, that ones will be able to listen to it and say, oh yeah, there's bits in that, you know, that I can walk away with. There we are. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So everybody's been taught. I've known this long time, for decades. There we are, for decades. My delicious little babies, like you, being taught, you know, to that we must bar this, we must bar that. What I found more important, my delicious little babies, is there we are, is keeping a roof over my head, my beautiful little babies, who we call our sons and daughters, having food, as good a food, there we are, as one can, in your tum-tum. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies, okay? And just being able to pay the gas and lecky, and do you understand what I mean? That's what's more, there we are, important to myself. There we are, to myself, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. You know, I've never been one either where you have to have like a flashy motor, wheels, brum brums. I've just never been made that way, my delicious little babies. You know what I mean? I've known others over the decades where, you know, they have to be driving, there we are, you know, a banging motor, in their view, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? But to myself, well, wheels are wheels. As long as, there we are, something's going to get you from A to B, does it really matter, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So again, it's about meditating and being, what I feel, there we are, peaceful. Because if one can be peaceful, there we are, with themselves, okay, well, everything else that's around them, not being nasty or wicked, does not mean a thing now. And ones must also, there we are, and ones must also remember that it's like a quick fix. So, say, for example, if somebody, I don't know, I'm just using examples now, okay? If somebody has a shoe addiction, you know what I mean? They've got to buy this latest pair of shoes. You quite often over the decades have seen these celebrities, haven't you? You know, where they want to show you their dressing room, they want to show you all of their shoes, all of their handbags, all of their clothes. There we are, okay? But it's a quick fix. Because once you bought that pair of shoes, like I say, I'm just using an example, okay? It's like another pair, there we are, of shoes will come out. So you probably wore that pair of shoes a couple of times. And then you say to yourself, oh, okay. But it's that rush that one receives. There we are. This is the best way to explain it, my delicious little babies. It's like a rush. Okay, so like they've really got to get it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, it's being drawn to them and everything. Yes, but once they've got it, it's like, well, I've conquered that now. Do you know what I mean? and then it fades. So the rush fades. So it doesn't last 5 minutes, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. I mean, I've known in my decades, ones who are very much that way. They're so materialistic that to the point where they look down. There we are. They really, truly look down on others. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But ones have to really look at there we are. Who has created this, my delicious little babies? Who has created all of this? Because naturally, it would give one division, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? So one's divided, or, oh, I cannot be seen talking to them, because they don't have a pot to pee in. You know what I mean? So you find that a lot of especially with the rich, the ones with a lot of ka-ching, 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 that they like to associate, and over the decades, there we are, I've known my damn self how they operate. Do you see what I mean? They will only operate with somebody who's similar to themselves. Do you see? So that in itself causes division, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? So instead of looking inside another one's soul, you know what I mean? They tend not to do that. And especially when you get anyone in the business world, I'll go back to that again, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? They can chat away about business, but they do not seem to have like that, where they can have a conversation about other things. Everything has to be based on ka-ching, 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 do you see what I mean? Okay, like if they don't have the, ka-ching in the pocket, like say, I don't know, say like £1,000 or something like that now, then just to go down the pub or something like that. Do you see what I mean? Well, they're getting all, there we are, stressed about it. Do you see what I mean? Okay. So, so I just wanted to talk about that today. We need to come back. Now, on every so often with my videos, I say it again, we need to come back. Now, when I used to go to a Buddhist church, I never went for long because my dear spirit guides only assigned me to go for 6 weeks. Okay, my delicious little babies. But that training is like to only focus on one part. So it could be your nose. So it means you block out everything else that's going on around you, even if you hear traffic in the background, or you could hear somebody, in next door's garden, they're nattering away, you know what I mean? You have to be able to block, there we are, everything out and only concentrate on the tip of your nose. Now, it does take a couple of weeks to master. Do you understand what I mean? Okay, because our noddles, our minds get so cluttered with everything else. But once you learn to master it, it's a beautiful thing. Do you see what I mean? And when I used to teach the meditation, I was teaching that way, and I did it for free. I'm going back many years ago now. But everybody was so pleased, and each week when they used to come to myself, you know what I mean? They really enjoyed coming on that day. Do you understand what I mean? Okay? Because they got, there we are, something from it, which was that, there we are, inner peace. And when we look in the world, we're not seeing a lot of inner peace, very sadly. Do you see? Because one's, I've got to get to work. Everything's just such a rush. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. Now, I was listening to our lovely, not in that way, our lovely Richard Vose, and his lovely little Julia, but she wasn't on this video, and he was telling us, this is his latest video this morning, my delicious little babies. Me personally, you look at the two of them together, they're a beautiful couple, okay, because they both have very similar things in common. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, okay. And he was saying, how much he loves her and adores her. Isn't that beautiful, my delicious little babies? There we are. That is how it should be. You know what I mean? They have a common goal that they want to get to. They want to buy a piece of land and everything. You know what I mean? Okay. But what's the point that I'm saying here? Richard, bless him as well. I mean, he gets it, on a channel. You're always going to get something, I mean, he smirks a pap. Well, good on you, Richard, for smirking a pap. What's wrong with that? But you're always going to get somebody, who has something nasty to say. Well, why say something nasty? There's just no need for it. You do not have to watch the channel. But talk about Richard's videos. I happen to enjoy their videos, my delicious little babies can. And this is why I will mention Richard and Julia, bless them, okay? There we are, talk damn well common sense. But they also talk about the farming. They talk about all different things, different subjects, okay? But Richard was talking about today that now our putrid governments now, so they've had a change of heart, apparently. Only from what I've heard, my delicious little babies, okay? So I remember this, there we are, very well, because I was been done telling it, everybody who I came across, I said, please use ka-ching, 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 use it more. There we are, do you see, okay? Well, it wasn't so long ago, and especially in the old pandemic, my delicious little babies, where they didn't want anybody to use ka-ching. Oh, but now they're having a change of heart. Could it be, my delicious little babies, okay? Just food for thought. Food for thought. Okay, my delicious little babies, that they're finding that it is not going as well as what they thought. Do you see? Okay? So we could say that, couldn't we, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying, okay? Because why would they go from one thing now, there we are, to another? Okay, they couldn't wait for everybody to have digital, fully digital, and get rid of ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Now they're changing the mind. You see me, I love little rats. It's a figure of speech. There we are. But I smell a rat. My delicious little babies are kind. So we need to keep our eyes on the ball here. And thank you, dear Richard, okay, because I listened to your video this morning. We need to keep our eyes on the ball now. There we are, because they're clearly up to something, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So, like I've been saying over the months, they're not finding it as easy as what they initially thought. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? And of course, you've got other channels talking about changing the subject now, to do with Trouble Trump over in Born in the USA. Do you see what I mean? Ones and ones and ones, more now. There we are, before I even say it again. They're noticing. And they're also noticing that, he does not appear to be doing, let's just say, everything for his population. Shall we say, my delicious little babies, okay? There we are. There's more and more and more who are chatting about this now. There we are. Do you see? And I watched on another video yesterday with our lovely Alex Cristoforo. Okay, my delicious little babies, and he pulled up a clip. I mean, because I look at all different videos, do you see what I mean? Okay, but I have my favourites. I have the ones that I listen to on a regular basis. And he was showing us, but I've seen this on another video as well. Okay, my delicious little babies. Which one was it now? Oh, I don't know, because there we are. Look at that for me. And he showed something to do with the perp. And what was it? One of these, Trouble Trump, dressed in a perp's outfit, my delicious little babies. You see, I've been done saying this for months, okay? Others, there we are, have been done saying it for months. If this is not a complete effing P-take, then I just do not know what it is, my delicious little babies, okay? And they've been done, there we are, doing it in everybody's birth races, my delicious little babies, there we are. Doing it big times, my delicious little babies, in everybody's birth race. Everybody to see, I keep saying this. Others, there we are, keep saying this. My delicious little babies, do you see what I'm saying? Yes, and whoever it is, clearly they find it most amusing Well, to anybody who happens to have the Catholic, and I totally agreed with little Alex, bless. So thank you, our lovely little Alex, okay? That at the end of the day, if you are Catholic, I certainly would not find that amusing one bit, my delicious little babies. But can you see what's going? There we are. Can you see what's going on here, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean? So, as I keep saying, what is it going to take for the ones who seem to worship that Trouble Trump now then? What is it going to take for them to see, there we are, the wood for the trees, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, there's lots of us now, like I said, who already know what his game is. Do you know what I mean? But for his followers, well, they just won't hear of it, will they? You know what I mean? So he can do whatever he likes, it seems. And they're just going to continue to worship. As far as I'm concerned, there we are. They all need the effing noddles looking at. There we are. In my opinion, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. And then, of course, when we listen about these tariffs, you see how they move the goalpost. But all the time, ones are making, there we are, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Now, I was talking about plastic, and I was talking about, there we are, other things, and others have mentioned it, my delicious little babies, okay? So you can see, there we are, what the crack is here, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. So, we just got to keep now, there we are, watching the flex. But like I said, we must also see what is going on here to do with the ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? Kind, like I said, they're clearly up to something. Maybe they want to try to gain some sort of, there we are, trust again, my delicious little babies. Well, I'm telling you now, I really cannot see that happening myself. Once you've, there we are, done the damage, well, it's very, there we are, difficult to come back from. And that is what I have to say there, my delicious little babies. I could ramble on more and more and more, but I'm just going to leave it like that for today, my delicious little babies, okay? So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies, okay? You must continue to good vibrations. And, peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected, okay? Please look after yourselves now, and please try to look after others if you can, okay? Could be anything. Well, I was brought up anyway that way, but you can hold a door open for somebody. You can have a little natter to somebody, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. And it may not mean much to one, but there we are, it can mean the world to somebody else. And just before I go, sorry, I will tell you this. I was talking to a dear little carer yesterday evening, my delicious little babies, and she was explaining to me, that she had another 5 dear clients to go and visit, okay? And I was having a little natter to her, and a lovely dear woman, blessed, you know what I mean, okay? She said to me, I was telling her some stuff, she says, you are funny. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? But a lovely woman, and she was explaining, because I said, how much I love and respect, there we are, the elderly, the dear elderly, apart from the odd one, my delicious little babies, I will not be rude, do you know what I mean? But if somebody speaks to you in a certain way, I will not speak to them ever again. My delicious little babies, they stumbled there, but I'm not changing my video. And really, to be quite honest with you, she was saying herself how much she loves, the dear little elderly as well. Do you know what I mean? So she knows herself the same as I do, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes. We must protect, there we are, the dear elderly. The dear little elderly, bless them. Do you see what I mean? Okay. Because, they're full of wisdom. Do you know what I mean? Okay. You can have some really good converse with the dear little elderly. Do you know what I mean? Okay. Because they remember a time